Alright, CSS battle time, and we have, I'd say it's a soccer field, but I don't think it has two of these. Is this hockey, maybe? Hockey rink? I don't know. I think that has circles in it, you know, like here at the quarter point, but not there. But we'll just call it some kind of game field. Well, I think border is going to play a part here. And these rounded edges, I think what I want to figure out is whether I can make like a box like this with rounded edges and then do a box shadow on it, you know, that just expands out, and if I'll get that decreasing border from that. I don't think I'll get that much unless I'm real precise with the pixel amount. Let's just test it. Let's first things first, let's put a background on this. I think what I'll do is actually change this to a linear gradient to be this line here, because that's not too costly to get a whole extra line, and because it'll be, the gradient will essentially be a white line over here that I position to the middle, right? Because of that, all these little boxes will just look like this because it'll be positioned out of their their apparent viewport. Background is, we're just going to start with the red. Like wine color, maybe? I don't know. It's red. It's good enough. Okay, so then on the body, let's do a box shadow, if I can type. 0, 0, 0, 20 pixels. So 0 on the X, 0 on the Y, and then that, and then we'll do FFF. Okay. Let's margin this down to its spot, and then we'll see what we can get. Let's go 100, 120. Okay, that's perfect there, and the width is in fact 20 pixels. 150, no, 170. All right. So let's go border radius. Let's see if this works. 10 pixels. Ooh, we are 10 looks close. I mean, it looks really close on both of them. You know, like we are getting that softening of the rounding there. I wonder if Q is closer. I don't know. It might not be close enough. I won't know unless I do all of them, and if I do all of them, this solution won't work. You know? 12Q almost seems better. Let's, I guess let's just work with that. Okay, so if that works, let's write our linear gradient. Let's get that in place. Make sure that works. Open it up. We're gonna close it. We're gonna go FFF for 20 pixels, and then we're gonna go comma and that. And put a 0 after the color to do the color stop. Oh, we gotta say 90 degrees to make it go left to right, and then we can just position it 150 and 170, 180, 190. Okay, I was worried about that. So the viewport, the positioning in the body's viewport, it's just moving across and just looping. So 190 pixels, that's where it lands with the looping on the 190. So that's not going to work. Usually I use maybe, can I do at syntax? 190 pixels? Yeah, the linear gradient doesn't have that. You're not supposed to use it that way. The radial gradient can determine the 0, 0 point, and so can the conic gradient. But linear gradient is supposed to be left to right, top, bottom, you know, that sort of thing. It's not supposed to necessarily start in the middle. What I could do is font and get rid of that. But I think this is the easiest way to make that line. I'm certain of it. But how do I get rid of it in the body? I know how. We don't need the background to carry down to the body. Although I do need the body to not be transparent. Bummer. I could do an inset and then it won't be, but then I'm declaring the colors again with an inset box shadow. You know, that's kind of like one of my rules of thumb that I like for these is if you declare the colors more than once, usually there's going to be a better solution. I don't know. See, now I'm declaring them twice for the box shadow and for the linear gradient. I think what I might need to do, I kind of know what I could do. What I could do is instead of doing the body and then 4 paragraph tags, and I feel like, again, the DL tags probably will help with margining and arranging things. Man, I need to spend time doing it, but I don't have time tonight to play with those again. Okay. Anyways, what I was saying, 4 paragraph tags. I could do a 5th one and just make it huge, and it would be on top. It would be over the top if it was that way, so that wouldn't work. Alright, I'm just going to leave it like this. Let's just see. We don't even know that this box shadow trick is even going to work. So we want... there we are. I pressed the wrong key. Okay, height, what is it, like 60? Let's put an outline on this so I can see where it is. It's nowhere. Doesn't exist yet. Okay, there it is. It's cool that the margin didn't, doesn't seem like it expanded the body or moved it at all. Just kind of nice. I like that. It's interesting that the outline is inside of the border. It's interesting, the outline is inside of the border. It's not useful right now. I feel like if I give it any kind of width, that won't be the case. No, it is. Outline isn't supposed to be inside the border, is it? I thought it was border outline. I don't think I've ever used them in... No, I have used them in conjunction. That's always been... I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I don't know how any of this works. The real question I should be asking is why there's no border radius on this. Because, let's say margin 0. Okay, now it has a border radius, and it has a width. And it's the right height. I guessed right with that 60. That is cool. Okay, let's get rid of our outline. It's not helping us right now. Okay. So, theoretically, I could make 4 paragraph tags like this, and then position them up to each side. I think what I might do, I might just do a position fixed. Now, I don't often do this anymore, but I think what I can do is be like top, you know, and be like 30. 50? Okay. Turn on the diff. I wonder if margin will actually be quicker than doing top and left. I was hoping that I could do, you know, top and then just change left, you know, or, you know, for each one. 150, did I go too far? Yeah, I did. 30, 40, 50. I didn't go too far. Okay, 200. So then, if I add in a paragraph tag, right, this should be just the top that changes. So I'm not having to write in margin. So I don't know if the, say I'd have to write, every single one would need margin to place it. But now I can do negative 200, and ooh, I wonder if that's what either way I have to redo it. But my order might be like, do, instead of changing left, instead of changing top, I change left. I don't know. Either way. And then top will be 80, and so it'll be this bottom one. Yeah, either way, I just change each one in turn. Let's just put it in there and just see what I'm doing. This is falling apart already. Okay, and let's put our last one in here. Position fix makes this so much easier. It's not going to be a top solution, you know? It's just not even close. I like to get close. I don't mind if I'm like 15, away. I feel pretty good about that. Let's say top is now going to be negative 80. I guess, oops, 80. There we go. All right, let's hit submit. Let's see if this is even 100%. I feel like it's not going to be with that border, that border radius. Let's say 11Q, and then we'll try pixels if this doesn't work, and just see. Sometimes the diff is misleading, but border radiuses tend to be very demanding. All right, let's try 10 pixels, and then we'll try 11 pixels, and just I'm going to chase it. It almost looks like I'm going to need to do different border radiuses on each one, or I do, oh, you know what I should have done? It's just a whole bunch of box shadows. 2 elements, and then a whole bunch of box shadows. Yeah, it's not happening here. Did I try 12 already? I don't know if I tried 12. Yeah, 99.9. This isn't gonna, it's not gonna work. Yeah, we're getting further and further away. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do 2 elements. We're going to change the border radius on both of them. The background, do I want the... I don't know. I don't know if I want the background to be that linear gradient. If I'm doing a bunch of box shadows, it's not going to matter. I don't know how I just did that. I didn't mean to push that. Okay, so I need 2 elements. So the first one, let's get rid of these paragraph tags. They don't need to be there. So the first one needs to be the white thing. So let's get rid of this. Well, we're going to have a box shadow, but I have an idea. Okay, so we're not putting a background on our body still. Sorry, I had to think it through. So I'm still going to do the inset. We're going to do 2 inch and 0. But on the body, we're going to say color is FFF, right? So then we're going to open our body up to be no, 100 by, oops, there we are, just a key away, just missed it. Alright, so this is my idea. So if I do the inset, and I do the white color, and then I do, this is going to be all these white box shadows, color is great, and then hopefully this one's going to have similar distances and stuff, and I can make it the just change the color for this paragraph tag sitting inside there. That sounds like a much better solution, and hopefully it works. All right, 20 is not quite right. Let's go 25. 30. 30 seems right. Yep, 30. I bet 30 is right. Okay, so now we're gonna write all our box shadows. So let's go 200 by -80. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and then we already figured out the distances with our top and left at least, so that's nice. All right, so -200 by -80 and -200 by 80. Okay, we got all those. Let's hope this indeed does work. I can always hope, right? If we don't have, that's not what I meant to do, but it works. All right, our paragraph tag is now going to have the color of this. All right, this time we can get rid of the pound sign at the front of it, and let's give it a height of 60. It's rendered in. It should be right here on the body, except for the margin. Margin 0. There it is. All right, let's go 10, and let's give it more height. 80. Let's give it a period, so it moves and. Why is it on the bottom now? Okay. We're having margin collapse. The period usually helps with that. Oh, you know, we need a margin of like 20. And is the height right? I don't think the height's right. It was 60, wasn't it? All right. Let's give it a period. The border radius. That's what needs to change. So our border radius 10. Okay, now okay, that looks a little bit better, but I think okay, and the period kind of messes things up a little bit with our numbers, but that looks pretty good. Let's hit submit. Let's see if we even get 100% on this one now. I think it has a much better chance. Oh, all our box shadows lined up. I didn't even didn't celebrate that. That is we're a celebration. I was hoping that the relative distances were the same, but I was thinking, oh, it's smaller, so the distance from it is not the same. But I guess it is. I like this. Let's see if 11Q is accepted for that one. All of these can be reduced down. The 30 pixels can't, but that's okay. This linear gradient is the questionable thing, whether that was a good decision or not, because I have to do an inset and a linear gradient, but maybe. Okay, my other option would be to do, okay, here's the thing. If I did a normal background, right? I'd do the red background on the HTML, and then I have to figure out the line too. So okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that there. All right, let's reduce these to smaller units and call it a night, because it is pretty late. Let's see what 190 gives me. 201Q. Good enough. Good enough for me. I'm not picky, you know? Not particular. Let's make sure that works. All right, and the rest of these are straight adjustments, so I don't have to check them. I know they'll all work. I should have. I'm using 5PC. 5M would work too. I think 5PC is a better choice. if you are using font somewhere rather than 5M. I'm not here, so it's fun to use because you don't ever use PC anywhere else, you know? Alright. There we go. And we can minify. And I'm gonna say that's good enough. You know, that's not good enough. Let's see if we can get a percentage out of this. %, we can. Alright, that's a savings. Can I use percentage for this? I don't think I can. Nope, I can't. Okay, good enough. I always check that. I think I check that frequently, and I always forget which ones you can use it on and which ones you can't. I think size you can, but position you cannot. Alright, 233. That doesn't feel great. I'm declaring each color twice still. It's better in the previous solution. Well, especially since it's actually 100%. Alright. Yeah, it's good enough. Good enough for me. Alright, that was fun. I hope you're enjoying this one. It's a little more interesting than some of the others. And I'll catch you later.